Ian Whiffin is admitting that the phone is moving westerly.
But he actually does tell us that the phone moves west.
How many inches did you get last night? This looks like, oh, he got out of the flagpole and went almost towards the Asian house. And there is Jen and Matt McCabe at 12:14 and 51 seconds, crossing right in front of the Canton Library.
The device shows that it overshot Fairview Road and continued turning up Cedar Crest, but came to a stop somewhere between 50 and 51.
How many inches did you get last night?
I don't think very many at all, just a few, actually.
Finally, something negative about this Adonis that you're married to or going to marry. It was interesting to see a high-def video of Karen and John at the bar, which I don't think we saw the entire thing at trial, but we definitely didn't see it this close. I was getting the chills watching it initially because it was really freaky to me to see how close we were to John, to see the phone that we keep obsessing over, to finally actually see it clearly. What was your opinion when you were watching the C.F. McCarthy videos?
The Commonwealth spent a lot of time on C.F. McCarthy's in the first trial because Lally used that footage to count Karen Reed's drinks.
The C.F. McCarthy video can easily count the number of drinks Karen had, and this is her first drink, and it took place at 8:58. Let's see how many others she had. Seven minutes later, she's done with the first drink. There's drink number 2 at 9:16. And here comes a drink and a shot at 9:57. And by 10:40, Karen and John are heading out of C.F. McCarthy's, and she's holding the drink she had. Doesn't seem like she had that much.
So he was very focused on it. And so because of that, we had to be very focused on it, although it was obviously not anywhere near as good a copy, which I don't understand. I don't understand why they wouldn't have used the copy that we have now. And that seems to be true in a lot of the videos.
And the thing about this, and it's very important for people to understand with attorneys, is that we have to become experts in whatever the case is. So I don't know shit about iPhones in theory going in, but you have to learn it. And if you don't learn it, you will never be able to really advocate in a simple manner. And we see that, unfortunately, for like a David Yannetti, when he's asking about the technical aspects of it, he kind of loses it because he doesn't know it as much as he probably should have.
You are aware that you can change the date and time of any photo in your photo app, correct?
Nope.
When you go to your iPhone, there's a little I for information. I think it's for info or information. All you need to do is click on that and click on settings and then to general, and then you get a pop-up from the bottom that gives you the choice to go into settings. Next to that is the word adjust, and then you get a pop-up that gives you the choice to click on that, and you can change the date. Next to that date and time is the word adjust, and that's all you have to click on. And you can change the time from 12:10 a.m., or you can change it from 12:40 a.m. to 12:10 a.m., or you can change it from 1:45 to 12:10 a.m. And it's that easy. Did you know that?
No.
And then there's no fault to David. Again, this is trial number 1. This is hindsight. This is us sitting in our nice offices with no pressure of getting a girl off. And you know that pressure is hard. So the issue for me is you have to become an expert in whatever it is. Today, we're going to a little bit focus on the route that Karen Reed took. And for some reason, I never appreciated where she went. And the beauty of that library video is you see exact timestamps of where people are. You see Jen McCabe, and then we see Karen Reed. Now, Jen McCabe crosses the library at about 12:14 and some seconds. She gets to 34 Fairview in 4 minutes from the library. If you go on Google, that's the way you should go. And that's how long it should take. And she got there exactly right. Then I'm like, fuck, well, if Karen Reed crossed at 12:16 plus 4 minutes, she should be at the house at 12:20. And then I start to panic. And this is what I spoke to you about, confirmation bias, because not only have I been saying that he arrived at 12:24, I can't figure out how, because even if you took a different route, it was only like a minute longer. So I actually told you that I started to pen Emily a sincere apology for yelling at her about confirmation bias is so real, because like all I wanted to do was to prove. Eventually, she does pass the road. Corey Hopkins did a little graph, which is fine. She passes the turn initially, but then she makes another wrong turn and then a U-turn. And I was able to plot out the actual course she took. And ultimately, what we're going to see is that it took 9 minutes from the library to 34 Canton based upon the route that she took.
I'm fine with 12:24 being the time that he shows up. I don't think there's anything too scandalous about that. I know there's controversy. To me, it doesn't really matter either way too terribly much, whether he shows up at 12:21, 12:22, 12:23, or 12:24. That there's a number of stop signs. It's it seems like it should be so quick, but I could also see if you stop at all the stop signs, there's stop lights all the way through. It's actually kind of a tedious drive from Washington to Fairview.
At the end, with regard to Ian Whiffin admitting that the phone does travel west from that final resting point. That's very critical because it's not using the Waze data anymore. It's using just the phone. And I believe that's sort of what Karen Reed wanted the experts to say with regard to the phone. The previous information with regard to John going up and down, I mean, that's a big controversy, right? There was 3 flights that were on, there were 80 steps, and we were trying to count the steps to go around the back, and that's all not relevant anymore. And if we're assuming that this information is correct, so there was a lot of energy spent on that time frame between 12:21 and 12:24 because we saw steps and we saw 3 flights taken. In any of the trials, did they ever really map out exactly where Karen traveled in a clear, concise manner?
I mean, I think Ian Whiffin tries to do that, right?
He does. I heard about the picture of Karen's car crossing at 12:16, but did they ever introduce this as an exhibit in any of the trials?
I don't remember it. It's possible, but I don't remember it.
But it's so critical. And again, the time seems to be exactly right. It's so important because you visualize the car, both Karen's and the McCabe's cars. Right now, this is just focusing on, was it possible that John was getting beat in the house between 12:21 and 12:24? Was it going up and down? Was he taking steps? This is the video recording from the Canton Library, which is located about a minute from the Waterfall Bar. At the intersection where the camera is, the quickest route to 34 Fairview is to make a left, but Karen and John are going to head straight, taking a much longer route. And there is Jen and Matt McCabe at 12:14 and 51 seconds, crossing right in front of the Canton Library. And there's Karen's SUV crossing in front of the library at 12:16 a.m.
Between 20 minutes and 19 seconds and 21 minutes and 58 seconds after midnight, the device starts right side at Devon Street, drives up and turns left onto Maplecroft Road. Again, we see that all of these location points match the pattern of the road layout, and we see a cluster of records here, which is around a stop sign.
Sam,
so again, it indicates how reliable the data is because the location.
But you heard that Maplecroft, and I go, what the fuck is she at Maplecroft? And then when you Google it, and you'll see that she's taking a longer route, not the right route, but just she doesn't know where she's going. I don't blame her for any of this, but it does explain why Jen got there in 4 minutes and Karen took 9 minutes to get there. It goes back to your point of the tediousness of this actual drive. There's lights and there's stop signs, and it's a windy road. If you put in the Google map location of Canton Library, not Waterfall, Canton Library to 34 Fairview on their exact path, including her going past the road at one point, it's a 9-minute ride.
Location data that's recorded, recognize the vehicle slow, come to a stop, and then continue after the stop sign.
Is Maplecroft Road in Canton?
Yes. At the end of Maplecroft Road, the device turned left onto Oakdale Road. and continued heading down there. Between the hours of 21 minutes and 59 seconds and 22 minutes and 53 seconds, the device continues down Oakdale Road. Again, all of these location points show with 5-meter accuracy. They show a consistent cadence, consistent pattern to the road. And again, we see a cluster where we see the device come to a slow or a stop for a stop sign. The device ultimately turns right onto Cedar Crest and continue down there between 22 minutes and 54 seconds and 23 minutes and 57 seconds. The device shows that it overshot Fairview Road and continued turning up Cedar Crest, but came to a stop somewhere between 50 and 51. And at 23 minutes and 58 seconds, the device appears to have turned around, so potentially a 3-point turn, in order to head back down Cedar Crest Road and turn right onto Fairview Road.
And that road coming down at the bottom of the screen where John O'Keefe's phone travels, that's Fairview Road?
This is Fairview Road here, yes. So at 24 minutes and 20 seconds, we see the device is already on Fairview Road. 24 minutes and 24 seconds after midnight. 24 minutes and 25 seconds, traveling at 16.6. 24 minutes and 36 seconds, traveling at 3.2 miles an hour. Finally, the device comes to a complete stop at 24 minutes and 38 seconds.
And there we see Karen crossing at 12:16. As you see there. See that nice zoom in? Now, here's the route that here. You could stop it here. That's the route that you wanted to see. That is from the Canton Library all the way to 34 Fairview, including going to 51 Cedar and then coming back. So it's a 9-minute ride, exactly how it is in Google.
All right, so this explains also why John doesn't put it in, doesn't plug it into Waze until a little bit later, right? Because I can't remember the exact time, but I think he doesn't put it in, I think, until after that call with Jen at 12:18. And it must be because at that point, what should have been a 4-minute drive was clearly not a 4-minute drive. They were kind of lost. And so he plugs it in so that they can get there from where they are, wherever that is.
You're 100% right. 1 minute after that call, he finally puts it in.
Okay, that makes sense, right? Because she can't find her way there for whatever reason.
Yeah, and then he puts it in.
At 25 minutes and 30 seconds, we see a relatively significant change where the accuracy drops to 34 meters. We do see a course or a bearing that shows that the device reported it was heading west.
And so the phone could be anywhere in that circle, close to 34, inside 34, 32.
Objection, Your Honor.
Ask it non-leading, please.
Could the phone be anywhere in that circle?
It could.
Could it be at the center point?
It could.
Could it be still in the car?
It could.
So this looks like, he got out of the flagpole and went almost towards the Asian house. But remember that this circle is not indicative of anything except for the phone could be anywhere in the circle. So if you put that arrow at the top of that circle, it would be clearly John moving towards the house. But it doesn't matter. We have movement. We don't have steps. We have movement of the phone. So John could have that phone most likely with his drink and phone. Look at the time. It's 12:30. We know that John has just checked the "you coming here."
Yes, I said, are you coming here? Followed by 3 question marks.
At 24 minutes and 59 seconds, the device is unlocked using Face ID, and the message, "you coming here," is read at 25 minutes and 8 seconds. At 25 minutes and 9 seconds after midnight, the device is locked using the lock button.
So he's got that phone probably in his hand, and then it's most likely not to register steps when you have a phone in your hand, because most likely it's using your body vibration in order to determine if you're really moving in a step.
Right, but I think we figured out, right, that if you have the phone out, it's less likely to log steps than if you have it in your pocket. I didn't remember him saying this in the PowerPoint presentation, but he actually does tell us that the phone moves west towards the house during the presentation, although it doesn't come across as clearly.
Maybe we should listen to that again. It's a second to last question, but that's really critical to Karen's case, even going forward with regard to all of this data, is that their expert said that it's indicating. And it's always great to use their expert to prove your point.
Well, I think that's why they didn't have to call their expert, right? Because in the end, that's what mattered. they got what they
Right.
wanted, which was the phone is moving west. All right, hold on.
We do see a course or a bearing that shows that the device reported it was heading west.
And so the phone could be anywhere in that circle.
The accuracy is a lot worse at that point. Generally, that would be movement, although John just stopped using Waze. Waze gives it a nice, tight accuracy. And the reason why we're able to qualify the fact that John wasn't at the house before 12:24 and 34 seconds is that the Waze is giving such high accuracy to the point where you see when it starts to cluster, every little point is a data point that it's recording, and then it stops at the stop sign. I'm not sure why this wasn't made simple to everybody initially, because there was a lot of energy spent on the John movement prior to him getting to the house. DLA Piper is not going to miss anything with regard to these specific information. There's no way that Bob Alessi didn't figure this out at some point. It just wasn't made clear to me until like yesterday as to the path she took. What's crazy about a trial with the 12 jurors is that none of them are getting the nuances here. Like, people say, oh, we didn't need our expert. They had no fucking clue that Ian Whiffin helped out. I just found this out yesterday. So how could those 12 jurors pick up on that nuance that Ian Whiffin is admitting to the fact that the phone is moving westerly, right? So that's huge. Sam and I do a show every Monday at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. Come and join us. It's fun. We talk mainly about the Karen Reed case. And with regard to this particular issue, there really is no doubt as to when John O'Keefe and Karen Reed arrived at 34 Fairview. But what it really does is helps us folks exactly when and where Brian Patrick Higgins, old Higgy Bear, attacked John O'Keefe on that fateful morning. But no matter what, we will never, ever stop producing these videos until the real killer,
Brian Higgins,
is brought to justice.